Hey everybody, this is Jose Blasco. We're about to start. 15 seconds to go. Sound check, please. A quick message on the chat box if that's okay. That way I will know that you hear my voice and all is good to get started. So please go ahead and type a quick hello on the chat box so that way we can start right now, which is actually the time to start the session. We're live. So just waiting for your confirmation and we begin. Thank you so much, Lilan. Very good. So I'll turn on. I got the wrong background. Let me very quickly change the background. So I want to make my background to be transparent. So that way you guys got more real estate. You can see more of the charts, which is more important than me. I mean, I do wear a nice t-shirt today. I wear the Ferrari t-shirt. Very happy that Carlos Sainz is in the Ferrari team for 2021, in case you follow Formula One. So I'll be happy about that. But the charts are certainly the protagonist for today. How are you, everybody? Today it's May 19, 2020. My name is Jose Blasco. I'll be your instructor. Today we're getting together to do a little bit of intraday trading. So we'll be looking at futures markets and Forex as well, looking for opportunities, identifying if those opportunities meet our rules. And if that's the case, we'll be ready and all over those opportunities to execute. Before we start, disclaimer: the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. And this is the disclaimer. Therefore, now I can say that officially the session has been introduced and we are ready to begin. So I'm just going to close this introduction slide to jump into TradeStation so we can begin our day ready to trade. We'll make the session to be around 45 minutes, something like that. So during these 45 minutes, we're just going to be looking for opportunities and plan as many as we can, depending on what the market gives us, okay? Because that is not under our control. So looking at futures to begin with, what do we see in the futures? Crude oil and the euro contract, okay? 15-minute time from climate. Climates are defined and they are giving us a near sensible opportunity in both cases. Below, we also have a golden alert, but that one is hopeful. So we will not look at lean hogs. But certainly crude oil and the euro contract are going to be our initial trades for the day or potential trades for the day. So what I will do is I will load crude oil and the euro contract. I will load those two workspaces so we are ready to plan those trades, okay? In parallel, I am looking at my other computer screen, about to bring a web browser to the main screen. Here we go. And you may notice that the page I am loading here is bar charts because, as always, healthy habits, we should be looking at the right symbol for the crude oil. Crude oil, energy markets, commodities in general, metals, they have expiration dates which happen often at times, okay? Equities, currencies normally is once every 3 months, but it's not the case with crude oil. So we're going to be looking at crude oil very quickly so we confirm which one is the right symbol to be used. Okay, so loading crude oil here, and the symbol is the N. So we can see that in the bottom part, another window is loading. So we're going to wait for that to load. Hopefully it happens quick. So we're going to be able to check if the N is the right one. You may remember what happened last week with the N, right? This week, it's very clear the N is the right one. As you can see, greatest volume and open interest. Okay, so we're going to go for the N. And therefore, as I load TradeStation and I look at the chart of crude oil, I'll be able to do that in just a sec. Okay, the euro contract is still loading. How are you, Boyan? Good to see you, my friend. So here we go. So I got crude oil here. Okay, and notice that when I save this workspace, I save it with the K. So I need to change that to add CLN20. okay, at CLN20. And this will now load my chart, ready to trade, ready to execute, ready to everything. So let's see if we have an opportunity here. It seems that we don't. I would say we don't. Yeah, we don't. Now, let me explain why I said we don't. Okay, so we don't because we don't now. Okay, maybe a few minutes we do. So let me explain what we have right now. So what we have right now, from a climate point of view, it's a climate where having a thick dot versus a thin dot. Okay, the climate is confirmed. It's confirmed to be down. So you would expect crude oil to fall up to 5 candles. That should be doable based on probabilities. And this is candle number 3. So we are looking at the crude oil dropping for another 2 candles. That's a 30-minute trade. Okay. Now our reference point is 31.94, which is the gray line, which is the moving average exponential. It's an EMA. Okay. This is our reference line, 31.94. You know what? An opportunity just arose. We didn't have that UFO a minute ago, but now we do have it. So the bottom part of that UFO is 95. The EMA is 95. The UFO begins at 95. So guess what? We do have an opportunity to short crude oil using that UFO. Now, if I place my stop at 3203, is this overlapping the top? Yes, it's overlapping the top UFO because that one is 03. So then my stop would need to go all the way to 3210. Okay, so we're gonna enter at 31.95 with a stop at 3210. That would be the risk of the trade. Okay, and this UFO on the left is also overlapping. What is the bottom part? Yeah, 95 is exactly the same. So very quick, let's look for a target on crude oil. Okay, so loading AutoUFOs. We are looking for green UFOs. Okay, so the next green UFO is really far away, and that is 30.84. So 30.84, that's where we have set our final target for this trade on the crude oil. Again, looking quite far away, and may or may not work given the fact that we are planning on intraday trades today. So we may not have time from now until 5 p.m. Eastern time to get to the target. Okay, so 95 is right there. I'm just gonna click and enter the trade. Target is gonna be, oh, we just got filled. So target is gonna be, stop is gonna be 03. Safety target is going to be 31.97. Okay, so 31.97 is going to be the target, safety target. And then my final target, we said, is going to be 30.84. So I need to do a lot of dragging there. 30.84, yeah, that's what we said. So let's see. Okay. Come on. Okay, I'm having problems to drag my target. So I'm just going to drop it there and move it again. Okay. Sorry for that, guys. I'm just having a little bit of a trouble here to mine my trade station the way I need. It's either, okay, it's not doing what I needed to do. Okay, little bit of a slowdown on my computer. I'm just noticing I made same mistake I made the other day, which is I have set up my streaming using the wrong GPU, and this is slowing down my computer. Okay, so the alternative would be to use where are you, the trade manager. So I'm going to use the trade manager. I have my order here located at 31.45. Okay, this is my target. So I'm just gonna cancel, replace this one, customize at the order bar, and I'm gonna make this one to be 30.84. This is how you do it quicker. Okay, so replacing that's gonna be my target. Okay, and now my target is located where it needs to be. Okay, you can see it visually now on the screen, where we had an entry at 95, which is this dot. Our stop is located at 3203, which I'm noticing I made a mistake. I said earlier it needs to be 10, not 03. So that is not the best job from my end. Okay, so we need to have the safety target located at 3180. So let me re-explain the trade. Sorry for the little confusion there. I was looking at the right chart and I forgot there was an overlapping with a UFO in the middle. So we had the entry. Let me re-explain the whole thing. This is what we got filled. Okay, that was 31.95. The stop is located at 32.10. Because we want the stop and the safety target to be equal distance. So if 32.10 is our stop, then our safety target is 31.80. So it's equal distance. Okay, and then our final target is 30.84. Based on what we saw on the 15-minute time frame, there was a green UFO much lower, and we said it's going to be difficult to reach to that point that quickly, but let's give it a try. Okay, normally what happens in those cases is that you end up trailing stop, and somewhere in the middle you end up exiting the trade. Okay, so crude oil, it's moving our way towards the target, hasn't reached the target yet. We have a time stop rule in place. Okay, so if I look at my chart on the left, notice we got filled at in the candle that closes at 1108. We use 3 candles of time stop. So the next one is 10 and the next one is 12. So 1 minute from now, if we haven't reached our safety target, 1 minute from now is going to be 11:12 a.m. New York time. So we got 30 seconds to go. If we don't reach our safety target in 30 seconds, okay, then we'll have to close the trade manually, and it looks like it may be a little bit of a small profit, maybe a little bit of a small loss. Whatever it is, we have a time stop in place, meaning that if we don't get to our safety target in 3 candles, then we're out of the trade. Okay, so we got 5 seconds to go. So it's looking like I'm going to have to cancel this trade manually. So here we go. Let's do it. 1, 2, and 3. We're out of the trade, and this trade paid around $160. It's not magic or anything like that, but we got that. Okay, now having said that, we do have UFO still in place. The climate is still intact. 3194 is indeed overlapping that UFO here that starts at 96 in this case. 96 in this case. This one starts at what price? This one starts at 88. That one is quite low. So I'm going to go with that one at 96. So I'm going to re-enter the trade. Okay, so now hopefully I'm going to do a better job at explaining this properly. So I'm going to re-enter at 96 this time. This is the value of the red UFO in the middle. Okay, so click 2 contracts. Safety target is going to be located at 10. Okay, 10. Stop will be located at 10. Safety target will be located at 82, if I am not mistaken with the math. Okay, so 82, which is equal distance. And then the final target, I'm just going to do the same thing as I did before because it's too long to drag it. Hey, I just click on the wrong app, not this one. I wanted to use the trade manager window, the normal trade manager window. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my 31.76. Why is it saying 96? Okay. All orders, open queued. Oh, that's the entry. Okay. Yeah. So it's okay, because I haven't got filled, it's not allowing me to change it here. Okay. Got it. So then we have no choice. We're going to have to drag. Okay. So let's drag. We're going to drag it down all the way to 3084. So that way I can show it to you on the screen properly visually. This one probably does give you time to all of you to place the order. Good news is that we already collected $160 of this trade. So if we were to be stopped out on this one, we're going to lose less. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not saying that the goal is to make such a small profit, but at the same time, it's a good thing sometimes to enter a trade, get out with a time stop rule, and then the market is still giving you the opportunity to re-enter. Okay. So that is quite nice. Okay, come on, TradeStation. So I do need to continue dragging. So I need to go to 3084, which is right there. Here we go. So I have it. So again, let me explain the trade. So we have an entry now, which is set at 3096. This is our entry coinciding with this red UFO. This also happens to coincide with the EMA or not anymore? The EMA, oh, we just got an update because it's 11:15. Okay, it's 11:15. So the EMA has been updated now to be 89. Yeah, so 96 is not valid. So if we were to take the trade, we will want to rely on that UFO there that has an entry price at 81. Okay, 81. Now, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to take this trade, so I'm just going to cancel it. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. And the reason why we're going to cancel the trade, let me do it first. So cancel the trade after all the work done. So the reason why we are going to cancel the trade is because if crude oil comes to this UFO and it's time to take the trade, your stop will need to be above O2, which is O3. But as we saw earlier, O3 is right there. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, that UFO is O3, as you can see. So in other words, if I place my stop above this, which is O3, basically my stop is where that UFO begins, which pushes me to put my stop at 3210 as we did before. In other words, you will now have a risk of so many ticks all the way from 210 to 3181. It's a very, very, very long distance, vertically speaking. And the problem of that is that pushes your safety target to be just as low. And your safety target is now far away from the entry, which decreases the probability of this working well for you. Okay, so we're gonna pass on this trade. We're gonna observe it. Okay, hopefully 15 minutes from now, something like that will happen. A new UFO will form somewhere in here. Okay, and that price level will line up well with a new value of the EMA. But that's gonna have to be something that we check in 15 minutes time, because right now those UFOs, because of what I said, even though they do meet the rules, they create too much vertical distance from entry to stop, and therefore they kill our safety target. Safety is the purpose, and if it's too far, then there is no safety, so then we're gonna pass. Okay, so let me take a look at the chat box before I continue here. Yeah, very good. Nice to see you all, guys. Thanks for that, Boyan. Yes, Helen, you are right. I'm just realizing your message, and you're right. I was wrong when I selected 3203 earlier. That was a mistake on my end. That's it. Okay, so done with this one. Okay, so the other one that we're going to check is the euro. Okay, so let's see if the euro is still in a valid position. Well, the euro right now is showing a change of climate, which is not confirmed, with a thin dot. Okay, so I'm just gonna close this workspace. Okay, we're not gonna use this workspace, and I'm back to see what's available. And notice that we also have an available opportunity here with natural gas. Okay, the euro contract, as you can see, is not confirmed. We just saw it. Okay, but natural gas, well, right now it just disappeared. It was 0.50, now it's 0.52. We're still gonna take a look at natural gas. Okay, so let's take a look at natural gas, NG, and remember it's a commodity. So I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier with crude oil. I'm going to go and check on what is the right symbol for natural gas, symbol that represents the expiration date. So looking at natural gas, it seems that the N would be the right symbol. Okay, so let's take a look at the N. The N is right here. And interestingly, we got less volume but more open interest with the N, okay, and the M got more volume, okay. But again, we're gonna go with volume and open interest, okay, which is the N. So we will agree on the N, and therefore, as we agree on the N, we're gonna type, instead of NGM20, we're gonna change that to NGN20 with the at the beginning, so we have the continuous symbol loading. And notice that TradeStation has not updated that yet, because TradeStation is looking at volume. So probably tomorrow, when you load the at EN sorry, the at NGN20, then it works. Today it's giving me an error message. Exactly the same thing happened last week with crude oil, isn't it? So what is the workaround? The workaround is to not to use the at. You would just type NGN20, okay, NGN20. And as you do that, it's not a continuous symbol, but I would say it's good enough. And we're gonna go ahead and see if we can put this trade together. Okay, so what do we have? So from a climate point of view, okay, we have a confirmed climate. It's a thick dot blue, 4 candles into the climate, and up climates are supposed to last for 6 candles, rounding up. So all of this is good, 4 out of 6. So we can still be in a 2-hour trade based on stats. And our reference point, reference price, I should say, is 198.6. So 198.6, it's somewhere here, and we don't have a green UFO here. It's somewhere somewhere here as well. No green UFO. And it's somewhere here and no green UFO. The UFOs are lower. So what we're going to have to do with natural gas is similar to what happened earlier with crude oil, which we just need to wait. Earlier in crude oil, I said no trade is available, and I just had to wait 2-3 minutes, and the trade became available with the new UFOs that form. Similar thing may happen with natural gas. You never know when the UFOs will form because, of course, we don't have a crystal ball. But whenever they do, then we'll be ready to plan the trade. So I'll keep the workspace open, and I will be coming back to check on that. In the meantime, quick look at crude oil, even though we still got 9 minutes to go. All the same, nothing new. So really nothing to say about crude oil. So back to our radar screens. When looking at the left side of the screen, which is the futures market, I guess you are with me that anything that is golden, we have already checked, and therefore the only thing we need to do is to go back later and recheck crude oil and recheck natural gas. That's all we have to do. And therefore now we're going to be moving into the world of spot Forex. Here is the NQ giving an alert. Okay, before we move into Forex, we'll take a look at NQ, which is now 0.6, but it was 0.5 earlier. That's why we got the alert. So okay, so let's take a look at NQ. The NASDAQ Futures. Here is NQ. Okay, so we are trading the M symbol. Nice, Boyan. 140 for you, 100 for Leland. Good job, my friends. So moving into the NQ, okay, so here is the NQ. Let's begin with the climate. Okay, well, the climate is not really favorable because we have the climate is defined, but it's 7 candles out of 7. So basically, we got 8 minutes left for this trade to be valid. So it's not super favorable, but let's see. So 75.20 something is where we need the UFO to be. And guess what? This is between that UFO. Okay, so we have a UFO that meets the rules. So 80 to 72. So 80 to 72, 72, that is overlapping 71.5. So we would have to place the stop at 71.5. Okay, and 71.5 is right there, which is in the green space, in the white space. So we do have a trade here. Okay, we do have a trade. Entry would be located at 85. Okay, 85. This one is 81. So I'm gonna go for 81 just because the inner circle is 80.75. This one begins at 81 and the EMA is 75. So I'm getting a bit closer to the EMA. So I'm gonna make 81 to be my entry. And then what I do need to find is where my target would be. So I'm gonna load AutoUFOs on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, and let's see if we got anything. Okay, so we're gonna have to load a little bit of data here. Not ideal, given the fact that there is little time for us to plan this trade. So I need to load data starting February. So let's go ahead and look at settings. We're gonna do 15 minutes. and we're gonna start loading first date February 2020. So let's see on the NASDAQ where our target would be. Is there any UFO above price? And the answer is yes. And the UFO is located at 41. This is very interesting. These prices make absolute no sense. The NASDAQ trades in quarters. So I can see this UFO has a price. Okay, now it's better. I guess I clicked in the wrong place. It's 41.75. So 94, 41.75. This would be the right place for our targets. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to 500 bars. I'm gonna reactivate auto climate just to be organized and orderly and go back to where I was. And again, price is coming. So remember, we're gonna enter at 81. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move this to the right. Okay, so we see a bit more, and we're gonna look at 81. Well, actually, I'm gonna place the order using the order bar because then it's too complicated with the NASDAQ. It's too much dragging. So I'm gonna go for long, two limits, one stop. Okay, so longs, two limit, one stop. The entry is 93.81. We said the stop is going to be 93.71.5. Okay, 93.71.5. So we are risking roughly 10 points, 93.71.5. That's what we said. We said the final target, I just saw it, was 94.41.75. Okay, and therefore the safety target will be 10 points above 93.81, which is 93.91, but it's going to be 90.5 because really it's 9.5 points of risk what we have here. Okay, so let me zoom in so you can see all the value. Okay. Okay, yeah. Now you should hear me. I know what just happened. I just hit a hotkey on my keyboard, which is a mute button. Sorry for that. So I'm just gonna send the order. Okay, hopefully you saw the. Yeah, thank you for that, Leland. My bad. Very silly. I just hit the F4 key on the keyboard. So anyway, just placing the order here. Okay, placing the order. Price, as you can see, price came very close to the entry but didn't meet the entry. Okay, so we're gonna be patient with that. And when price comes into this UFO, we have the stop, safety target, equal distance, final target, 94.4175, all looking good. You can also see the stop being in the white space between UFOs, so the stop location is also good. So everything is good. The only thing that doesn't look good is the fact that in a few seconds, okay, we're gonna hit 30, that's it. And now, when you look at the climate, what we have here now is 8 candles out of 7. So now we are dealing with a climate which is a little bit extending or overextending itself. So the rules that we have used in the sessions before is that it's still okay to take the trade, but the recommended way to take the trade is to reduce the position size by half. So if this trade would have been taken with, let's say, 8 contracts, then you would use 4. Okay, that would be the recommendation. And if reducing by half the trade, if you were going to use 2 contracts and that puts you in a position where it's 1 contract only, then you would want to cancel the trade and look for something else. Because of course, when climates begin overextended, everything becomes less likely. The trade still makes sense, but probabilities start, being not so much in our favor. Okay, so in that sense, this is for you to keep in mind. I will keep the trade open because we can see the average is 81, our entry is 81, so the trade setup still makes sense. Okay, so I will keep the trade open. So hopefully we can practice it together before the end of the session. We still got 15 minutes. But in the meantime, I want to go back very quick to check natural gas. Okay, so do we have anything at 84? We don't. 84 we don't. 84 we don't. So it seems that natural gas may not be a candidate. What about crude oil? So what happened to our crude oil? So crude oil, it's almost in the same situation as the NASDAQ, where now is 5 out of 5. So basically we got 15 minutes to get filled. The new value of the average is 84. And unfortunately at 84, there is no red UFO here. Okay, the UFOs are higher, but there is no UFO around 84. So no trade as of now, but again, it's something for us to keep monitoring and hopefully we'll find an execution. What else? Gold is giving us an alert, but it's a non-confirmed climate. So we will pass on gold. And therefore, I'm just gonna keep observing crude oil, natural gas, and the NASDAQ until the end of the session, okay? But in the meantime, I will also move into the Forex markets. And we don't have many opportunities today. Okay, if you look at what's going on here, notice how hopeful and hopeful. So when dealing with the majors, everything is hopeful at the moment. So that means that those markets have been moving and probably they are a bit overstretched and there is no opportunity, which is quality at the moment. So when looking at the cross pairs, is also hopeful when looking at the 4-hour time frame climates. Okay, it's quite strange to have so many currency pairs and all of them with no alert or hopeful. That's not too normal, but it happens, and here's the proof. And in the daily time frame is where we find a few opportunities that we're going to explore. So not this one, because even though it's marked on the right as near sensible, the climate is not confirmed. That's why it's gray color. So that one will pass. But the Aussie CAD, the Euro CAD, and the Euro Aussie, those three, which by the way, those are correlated trades, isn't it? They have the same currencies, the Euro, the Aussie, and the Canadian dollar is involved in those 3 pairs. So all of those are sensible and near. So we're going to start with the Euro Aussie using the daily time frame setup. Okay, so EURAUD. So that's the Euro Aussie. And as I put together a trade here, a potential trade, I want to make sure that all of you only pay attention to the charts on the right and ignore everything on the left, because on the left is the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame. So ignore that. We're going to be looking at the daily and the 55. Okay. So looking at the daily time frame for the Euro Aussie, the first thing that I could comment, I just put my mouse in the wrong place, so I'm hiding the information I need, is that the climate is confirmed with a thick dot. So down climate. This climate is supposed to last for 6 candles, and this is candle number 1. So in other words, we may have a 6-day trade with the Euro Aussie falling. Okay, so that's nice. Okay, that is nice. and our reference point, reference price is 67.45, which is the value of the EMA in black color. Okay, so on the top, what do we have? We have the 55-minute time frame, and when I turn on AutoUFOs, we do have UFOs on field orders located between 28 to 71, which certainly envelopes perfectly, that UFO envelopes perfectly 167.45. So thank you very much, UFO. You are what we need. So I want to get a little deeper into defining the entry, but before, I would like to look at targets. So target for the Euro Aussie would be, let me maximize this so we see better. Okay, so price is currently inside of a green UFO. So what our rules say is that when price is inside of a UFO, we ignore the UFO because in a down climate, buy on field orders tend to be canceled. And the fact that price is inside the UFO means orders are being filled as we speak. So there are less orders left. Okay, so we're going to go for the next one for the target. And therefore, that puts our target to be located at 165.02. Okay, so I'll write it down. We're going to short this currency 165.028 will be the target. Remember, we need to do some adjustments. First, adjusting to the 4 decimal place, it will become 03 because it's a buy order. And because it's a buy order, we need to add 2 pips, which would make it 65.05. Okay, so that would be the final target, okay, for this particular trade with the Euro Australian dollar. So coming back to the entry, okay, for sure, that level there at 167.286 qualifies as a valid entry. We need to adjust it to 4 decimal places. Because it's a sell order, I will adjust it down to 28. Okay, and then the stop could be located above 167.718. But before I have a final figure for entry and stop, I do want to take a look at how does it look like if I turn on the 55 range time frame, not the 55 minutes, but the 55 range. So how does it look like if I do that? And I'm looking at values between 67.28 to 67.71. So 67.28, it's right there, 28. Next one goes 58 to 63. Our stop is higher than that, being 71. So it seems that no problem. Yeah, 71 is there, and there is no other red UFO that is overlapping. So I don't need to group those UFOs because there is no overlapping. Okay, so perfect. So back to the 55-minute time frame. This is from where the trade will be taken. Okay, so let me adjust the stop then. So the stop is going to be a buy stop. So I need to adjust my 4th decimal place to the upside, which is going to be 72. And then because it's a buy order, I will add 2, so that's 74. And because it's a stop, I will add 5, so that's 79. Okay, and this makes this trade to be a trade where I will be risking 51 pips in order to make 223, which is a 4-to-1 trade, a trade where you have a reward to risk ratio of 4-to-1, which is nice. But again, the way we're going to take this trade is, of course, with a safety target in between. Okay, so let's do the math. Okay, let's write it on the screen. Okay, so you guys can make a note, place the order comfortably without any mistake. Okay, and execute this trade with either paper money, real money, assuming all of these meets your plan, as you know. So stop loss 167.79. Short entry would be 167.28. Safety target, I need to do some math here because it's gonna be below 167.28, okay, by 51 pips, okay, 51 pips. So let me do the math correctly. So that would be 77, 66, 77. Am I correct? I think so. Yes, that would be the safety target. So 166.77, that would be the location for the safety target. And then the final target, as we said already and is written on the screen, would be 165.05. Okay, So this is the trade. Okay, this is the trade on the Euro AUD. I'm just gonna wait a few seconds so you can take a screenshot. And the last 5 minutes of the session, what I will do is I will go back to check those futures markets to see if we got filled, see if any other opportunity is available so we can plan it and conclude the day this way. If you have any question, by the way, in the meantime, this would be the perfect time for you to type it, to phrase it, so I know, so I don't miss anything during the session. How is it going, guys? If everything is going good, I also appreciate very much if you guys can say just all good, all okay, something like that. It's certainly appreciated because, of course, we are not in the same room, so I don't see you. So getting a little bit of feedback from you is, as I said, really, really appreciated. So back to the radar screens here. So first I'll check the NASDAQ. Did we get filled on the NASDAQ? No, we didn't. We went very close to get filled, isn't it? Price went very, very close. How close it went? The low is 75. Wow, one tick away. It went one tick away from the entry and then reached the safety target. Well, let me tell you that this means a lot. It means that, that UFO is doing its job because price did enter that UFO. The climate is doing its job. The EMA is doing its job. So, the different moving parts that we use in our trades are doing their job. So, which is great to see. At the same time, it's a bit painful to get to see that we got missed by one tick. But even though it's a bit painful, this is just the use of the language. It doesn't feel painful. We know this could happen. And if it happens, it happens. And what do? We wait. That's it. So we wait for what? We wait for 4 minutes. Why 4 minutes? Because 4 minutes from now, we will have an update on the climate. And therefore, we will reevaluate if the trade is valid or not. Because during the 15 minutes, or whatever time frame you use for common time frame, during that amount of time, we are in waiting mode, waiting to get filled. There is nothing to be done, no matter what happens. So in this case, we missed the trade by one tick. So what? Part of trading. What's going on with the natural gas? Let's take a look at natural gas. Natural gas does not have any green UFO, and on top of that, new red UFOs are forming. So probably a change of climate is about to happen for the natural gas. So no need to check. What about crude oil? Has anything been formed in the crude oil markets? Well, not at the moment. We are in a down climate. You can see the EMA is pointing at 3183. There is no red UFO at 83. 83 is up here. No red UFO. No red UFO. No red UFO. So we are in waiting stages as well for that particular market. Which, by the way, in 3 minutes from now, it will be, instead of 5 out of 5, it will be 6 out of 5, which means that now you need to go ahead and take this trade with half of the size if you choose to take the trade. Okay, it's less odds because the climate is a little bit of over-propagating, overextending. Okay, so anything new with the NASDAQ? So price is falling. We are like 3 points away from entry, 3 or 4 points away from entry. So hopefully we have a heavy drop and we get filled. Could be. And if not, again, in a minute and a half or so, we'll have to reevaluate this trade, given the fact that we'll have a new value for the EMA. Right now, the value for the EMA is, as you can see, 78, which certainly is within our UFO there, starting at 81 all the way to 71. So the trade is valid, but it's valid, as long as everything remains the same or almost the same. We just got filled. Here we go. Thank you very much. I love it. So no need to be concerned about what's going to happen in 15 minutes or anything like that. We are in the trade. Certainly, the very strong push to the downside with a red UFO showing up here. It's the sign where we may have a climate change. This is obviously not looking good, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that the market conditions have changed. We don't have any evidence of this being the case. So we're going to see that now in just a few seconds, 30 seconds from now. So we're going to observe the market climate. And if the market climate changes from confirm to non-confirm, or red to or red or blue to red, then we're gonna have to close the trade manually, because a change of climate would imply to get out. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen as we have an update in just a few seconds now. 10 seconds to go. We're gonna have an update. Let's see what the outcome of this trade is gonna be. So 10 seconds to go. And again, I'm curious to see, well, the climate is still the same. So climate continues to be blue and confirm, okay? So that's nice to see. It's nice to see as well some green kicking in here on the reactive time frame. Thank you very much. The EMA is still around the same price level, just a little below price, which is good. So if price goes down, potentially more unfilled orders may kick in, okay? So we are obviously now utilizing our time stop rule. Okay, time stop rule. We enter the trade in this particular candle. You can see here with the buy two contracts. Okay, so that was 1044. Okay, so 1044, we add two more candles. So that would be 1046 and then 1048. So at 48, okay, basically we got 3 minutes to go, isn't it? 3 minutes to go for us to either close this trade manually, or we would have reached the safety target located at 90. Okay, so we are kind of like 6 points away. This red UFO on the right and the red UFO on the left is certainly concerning, especially knowing that the climate is a bit overextended, as we know, isn't it? So we may not get to 93, 90.5. We'll see. In the meantime, we'll be ready to act on the time stop in a minute. And if we get there, then we'll be happy. We'll conclude the session, and I will let you manage the trade towards the final target located at 9441.75. Let's see what's going to happen. Certainly, we're in the hands of the climate, as we always are, in the hands of the unfilled orders, in the hands of the EMA, which may add more unfilled orders. This is basically trading, and it's nice to see a strong push, a new UFO form. So 73, right below 73, 72, 75, that's going to be the new location for the stop. Okay, so instead of 71.5, we are moving the stop to 72.75, which is below 73, which is a new UFO that just formed. Okay, price has been pushing higher, so we may reach the safety target. We'll see. Okay, come on, just a bit more. Go for it. Come on, NASDAQ, you can do it. 3 more ticks. 2 more ticks, 3 more ticks. Hey, a few more ticks, teasing us. 73, more UFOs forming, everything in the same location. Looking good for this to continue. That's it. We just reached safety target. So you cannot lose on this trade anymore. Actually, we having moved the stop already. So this trade can only now end up as a winner, no matter what. Now you are on your way towards the final target. So just a few instructions before I conclude the session, just in case. So if this market starts going like that, just do nothing until a UFO forms, okay? And as price moves, then you move your stop below the new UFO, okay? In any of those 3 charts on the top, if a new UFO forms, move your stop, okay? So that's one rule for management. Then the other rule for management is, if the market just go like that with no UFOs, the probability of the market then crash down against you just as fast is very high. So then what you would do is that you look at the distance, which is 9.5 points, right? That was the distance from entry to stop, isn't it? So you take the safety target, that was 90.5, okay? And you add 9.5, okay? So that's 100, okay? Which basically, that would be 94, okay? So if you get to 94 without UFOs, then you would move your stop to 90.5, okay? So every 9.5 points you make without UFOs, you move your stop 9.5 points, okay? That's what you keep doing. Just keep trailing stop 9.5 points at a time, because that was your initial original risk, which somehow represents the volatility in the market, because the size of the UFOs, it's proportional to the volatility available in the market, okay? Now, that is normally less sustainable. What I would love to see is a lot of indecision. I would love to see a UFO form, take its time, do whatever, another UFO form, because this will have a much better likelihood of reaching there. But we don't know what's going to happen. So therefore, we are ready to act, as you saw, on the time stop, which we didn't have to in this case, on the trailing stop based on UFOs, which we did when we moved the stop from 71.5 to 72.75. And then we are now ready to trail stop as well based on new UFOs, or also what we call too far too fast, which in this case is 9.5 points. Okay? So enjoy the trade, everybody. See you soon. See you on Thursday for another session. And keep up the good work, everybody. Take care, everyone. Oh, wait a minute. I may have missed a question. Yes, Jaime, very good point. If you don't reach the final target before the end of the day, you have to close the trade before the end of the day. Okay, so 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes before the end of the day, just go ahead and close the trade manually. Andrew, these sessions provide a great sense of connection and boost my confidence no end. Thank you always, Jose, and everyone. My pleasure, my friend. You make my day. I have lots of fun trading and sharing this in front of you guys. But knowing that this is helpful to you, it really means a lot. So thanks for sharing. Keep up the good work, everybody. You guys take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.